everybody, and welcome to On the Rise with Miss Phoenix. I am your host, Miss Phoenix. Today we have with us Tamara Bethea, aka Coach Tami. She is a life coach. She will be here with us today. She's our special guest. We're going to talk a little bit about her business. We're going to talk about the book that she wrote and just things that she has later coming up. So, guys, please stay tuned as we'll be right back with Coach Tami. Coach Tami, welcome to On the Rise with Miss Phoenix.
Hi, good evening. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
So, Coach Tami, for those who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about who you are?
In full or just a snippet of Coach Tami, because I wear so many different hats.
You
Uh,
can just touch base on just a little bit, just for us to know who we're talking to today.
okay. I am married to the wonderful chef Jermaine Bethea, mommy of a blended family of 7 children and 11 grandchildren. I am also a operations manager, also the senior pastor of Abundant Hope Christian Center, and the CEO and founder of LaSalle Coaching.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's enough for now. You said just a snippet, so.
Okay. So, in other words, guys, she wears many hats and she wears them well. So, you have mentioned you're coaching. And I just want to touch base a little bit about that. What kind of coach are you?
I'm a wholeness coach. I believe in assisting both men and women from kind of getting to this existing weary place in life into really pushing past some of the experiences that they have, getting even out of their own head and really learning to walk in their purpose. I think far too often, many of us, including myself, I have been in this place before, which is kind of what catapulted me into coaching. um, just being in a place of existing and just kind of being in default. And I think too often we miss out on the greatness that life has for us because we're stuck in default by circumstances, situations, backgrounds, things of that nature. So our coaching practice is really to help people find, recognize where they are, understand where they want to be, and walk that line to get them there.
Okay. So, how would you go about, or what would you say to someone? Because sometimes people don't understand that they do need a life coach, or the how necessary it is to find their way in life. So, when you meet someone, do you often just automatically introduce yourself that I'm a life coach, or is it in the conversation that you pull out the necessary of them might needing a life coach?
I think being who I am, my titles kind of intersect often.
Hmm.
So it will usually start off more in a ministering capacity, people
Okay.
just sharing what they're going through. It's funny because I had a conversation with someone a week or two ago, and I said, ever since I was a young girl, people would just come up to me and talk to me, people I didn't even know.
Hmm.
And as I got older, I recognized that those were doors for me to kind of make deposits into people's lives.
Okay.
So if I encounter someone and they're sharing, or I can get a sense that, they want to open up and want to talk, but they're more than likely not in that trusting capacity, or have that level of trust with people, I'll kind of, just smooth talk with a friendly conversation, and kind of lead them by, different types of questions to kind of get them to open up, um, and let the conversation go from there. Um, I can be honest, I didn't always believe in life coaching until I found myself needing a life coach after divorce and after some other things that I experienced, um, and finding my own self stuck. Um, so I would say, whether it's a life coach, whether it's a business coach, whether it's a wholeness coach, whether it's a career coach, you have different coaching paths. I would I would just encourage everybody to reflect to where they are and what that next level in their life is, whether it's personally or in business, and really seek out someone that has that knowledge base that can help you get there. We all need help. And I think sometimes we live in a culture where it's I'm self-made and I'm self
Mhm.
this and I'm self that. But the truth is, nobody is really self anything. You heard something, you got a nugget. Even if you did all the work yourself for your company,
Right,
there was a seed somewhere that helped you get started.
right,
That was like, let the light bulb go off, or gave you an epiphany moment, or there was something you heard or saw or experienced that planted that seed. So that's what I would say.
okay. You mentioned divorce and some things that you went through in your life, as far as um, you didn't first believe in life coaching, and you said after going through these things in your life, you understand the need or the necessity. I'm gonna get my words out today. The necessity of having a life coach or just someone that can help you heal, help you come through. So my question to you would be, now that you went through what you went through, and now that you are a life coach, in this day and age, do you not see more people geared more towards going to seek help from a life coach, going to seek help um, from someone like you said, whether it's in business or whatever, more so now than before?
Absolutely. I think it's become more normalized. um, First of all, because it's such a booming industry, right? Over the last few years, you even just see how much coaching has expanded in every realm. Um, so yeah, I think it's more normalized now. And so this is not part of my topic. I also think therapy has become more normalized. And
Hmm.
I don't know how real we could be on the show,
We can be
but
as real
we could be
as
real.
we could keep it real. This is where we discuss everyday real topics, keeping it real.
Okay, so let me be real.
Okay.
In African American community, there has always been a stigma, and I
Yeah.
thank God that it's being broken more and more. But there was always this stigma with therapy, and then when life coaches came, it was like, oh, these people just want to take your money. No, now in any profession, you'll have somebody or you have some people that's in it just for the money. That's in any profession. But then you have people that really have a heart for people, and that's
Uh-huh.
why I always tell somebody, you can take a one-time one-on-one session with that person to kind of gauge, are they in this for the money or do they really care about the people? But
Uh-huh.
I'm thankful that in this day and age, culturally, we're
Hmm.
demolishing that stigma, and more people are actually able to get healed. Are we where we need to be 100%? No, but we have come so far as a people,
Hmm.
in learning to be open and learning to be vulnerable, right? And learning to allow somebody in the physical to take our hand. And you said we could be real, so I'm going to be real, especially in church culture.
Let's talk about it.
They tell you, baby, just pray about it. No, I need to talk to somebody here, though.
Right.
I need some tangible help. And
Right.
anybody that knows me, I mean, you can even see my shirt. Anybody that knows me knows I am 1,000% a proponent of prayer. I will.
Right.
You ask me to pray, I'm praying. I'm going all in, straight from the door. But I also believe after praying, asking God for help, having enough wisdom when He sends somebody to be the help, letting them be that tangible help.
You said something, and I just want to go back to it. In the African American culture, the Black culture, we're gonna be real. Um, a lot of things happen, and we go into this thing where you keep silent and you heal from it. But truth be told, you can't heal from it unless you deal with it. And so many times we don't want to deal with it, so we let the silence of it be our shell, which cause us as adults to have more issues, or cause us in
Absolutely.
life to have more issues where needing a life coach, correct me if I'm wrong, needing a life coach or just needing like therapy or a therapist or whatever, is more needed because of the silence. The healing process never happened, and more damage happens. Am I right?
Absolutely. We unfortunately grew up in this era of don't talk about it.
Right.
Um, you don't want people to know this about so and so.
Mm-hmm.
And we grew up in an era where we, unfortunately, as families, because we didn't want to deal with shame or ridicule, um, protected the offender instead of covering the offended.
Right.
We protected the perpetrator and shamed the victim. And so, too far often, people are not only dealing with the pain of what they're going through, they're dealing with the pain of not being able to express what they went through and
Right.
feel and being double victimized. I've already
Right.
had this person hurt me. Now I have my family who is supposed to protect, not in all situations, but for a large part.
Right.
Um, now I have my family that's like, oh, but we don't want them to go to jail, or they don't want the, and I could be wrong, but my thing is, they either need to get beat down or go to jail. Like, why are we covering? I'm sorry.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and I love the
Right.
Lord and everything, but if you out here touching babies,
Yes.
Lord forgive me if I'm wrong, but you need to face the consequences of your actions. And I'll digress. They need to be arrested and go to jail, right? But we need to hold people accountable for their wrongs.
Right. And being that you said that, many times hurt people. So
Hurt people without any real help. Hurt people.
without help, I was going to go there. Hurt
Yeah.
people who have not gotten help, who have been taught to heal silently, are those who are prone more to hurt other people because they haven't properly dealt with it or been helped properly to handle life situations or life. And so they're used to the hurt, which caused them to hurt others.
Right. And I
Um,
think
Go
people
ahead.
don't take enough time with one another to really learn that person and learn their issues. And I can only talk about myself, right?
Hmm.
Being a person that grew up, my home life wasn't abusive, but I experienced abusive situations at the hands of other people,
Hmm.
and never healed from it as a child.
Hmm.
And then got married very young and was in an abusive relationship,
Hmm.
an abusive marriage, and never got healed because everybody kept saying pray about it, gotta heal it in time. But I needed somebody to talk to as a young woman and as a young mother. I needed to heal so that I can learn, because what we don't understand is abuse and traumatic situations, they cultivate a toxicity within yourself
Okay.
that is normal, because you don't recognize that my behavior is toxic, because to me I'm defending my life, I'm defending
Right.
myself because I've been offended so much.
Right.
But as you grow, if you continue to defend yourself in such a way that it's harming other people, now not only have you been offended, now you become an offender. So then you leave a wake of tragedy in your path because you're not healed. And a lot of times it's not intentional. We meet these young people, we meet other people, and we just think they mean and nasty. No, you don't know if somebody hurt them in their past and they never got over it.
Right.
You don't know. So I always tell people, be gentle with one another, because you don't know
Right.
somebody's backstory, you know.
Okay. For those who don't know, Coach Tami also is an author. She writes, um, and her first book was Wisdom for the Weary: Overcoming Life's Obstacles. Um, is available. Um, in her book, she deals with a lot of overcoming things in your life, overcoming hurt, overcoming. And it's like a daily step by step guide. Guys, go get it. It's a wonderful book. But just listening to you, it brings me to one of the chapters in your book that says no fear here. And so we were talking about how the fear of exposing, the fear of seeking help, the fear of just different things. And in your book, I'm sorry, I have to, you know, age kicks in every now and then. So in your book,
I'll put mine on so you won't feel alone with your glasses.
you said something in here. It says many believers have found themselves at this crossroad where fear seemingly outweighs their faith. But you in there says, but there is hope. And you said fear is not a natural emotion that God has given his people. It's a device that the enemy keeps us bound. And so when you said that, and I began to think about what we were talking about, can you just can you just expound about that and about just the crossroad, because a lot of people don't understand what the crossroad is, or they get to the point and they be like they don't even realize where to go from here, like even the steps to take to even how do I take the steps to seek a therapist, a life coach? How do I take the steps to go find a therapist? How do I take the steps to just move from this place? Because I first got to make a decision to move from this place in order to move towards my healing.
First of all, you have to recognize you're stuck.
Okay.
Um, a lot of times we don't recognize that because again, this has become a normal way of living for me. So, and when it's repetitive, and
Hmm.
you're just living in that cycle, um, again, I believe in prayer, really praying and asking God, okay, is this really the life you have for me? Are the things that I'm experiencing what you designed, or what I've come to expect because of the situations and circumstances I've been in,
Hmm.
right? Um, so coming to that crossroads is being vulnerable with yourself and acknowledging this is not really what I wanted. This is not really who I am. So, being understanding that you're at a crossroad comes with acknowledging where you are,
Okay.
acknowledging some of the things you have experienced, acknowledging, really praying, asking God, is this what you have for me? Is the life that I have what you purposed for me, or is
Okay.
it what I've become accustomed to because of the situations and circumstances that I have faced? And
Hmm.
recognizing, and the reason that I say fear is not an emotion that God has given us, because it says in 2 Timothy 1:7, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of
Hmm.
love, joy, and of a sound mind. So if
Hmm.
God didn't give us fear, where did it come from?
Right.
If God didn't give us fear, and I believe that every other negative emotion that we deal with, suicide, depression, all of those things, I believe are byproducts of fear and of circumstances we've been through. And that's why when you are depressed, or you have suicidal thoughts, or you're
Hmm.
dealing with the myriad of negative emotions, that's why your body, it takes such a toll on your body, because we're not meant to carry it. We're not meant
Right.
to operate in those things. And so getting to a point of recognizing you need, whether it's like, again, a life coach or a therapist, because what you have been through is majorly traumatic. It's understanding this is not, this life that I'm living is not conducive, it's not purposeful, and it's not helpful.
It's purposeful. I'm listening.
Oh, what was I saying? Oh, really just asking God and really doing self-reflection. Is this life that I have, is it purposeful? Is it conducive for my life? Is it helpful to anybody else? Am I making an impact? Am I enjoying the life that I have? And if you answer
Hmm.
no to any of those questions, it might be time for you to reach out to someone to help you get to that next level.
I'm glad that you said that, because I was going to ask you, is there signs to say or to show that you're at this point? But you answered it. You are automatically answered my question. Am I enjoying life? Am I happy? Am I just I like to say this thing about masks. Although I know we're in the pandemic and we're in COVID and everybody's wearing these
Yeah, we've been
masks,
yes.
but we've been masked. Like we masked our true emotions, our true feelings about how we're doing and how we go through everyday life. And so that's a sign right there to say, listen, something's not right. I have to deal with these emotions. I have to deal with the things that I've went through, and I have to face it in order to move forward. And like you said, live that whole life, and be free, and be healed, and then enjoy this life, this thing called life. And so is important. It's really important. It's important for you said the things that you went through. So I wanna ask you, because you did say you was a minister, and I know you're an author and you're a pastor. Um at times, do you find it difficult, because you're a life coach, with do you separate any of the two at times? Because sometimes it's people want to deal more, people who are not into church don't always feel comfortable, because they feel like they may get beat over the head, beat over the head, beat over the head with I'm just trying to be real. So beat over the head with a God. So much so where they feel like if you're too godly, you can't really sympathize with me, because that's all I keep hearing. So do you find it sometimes hard where you struggle sometimes when it comes to coaching people, because that may be their outlook or their fear of really, are you going to judge me? Because Christians have this thing, church people has, are very judgmental. Let's just be real.
Mm-hmm.
They're very judgmental. So do you encounter people who may not be involved in church, are afraid to really come to you per se, because they feel like, oh, she's already going to judge me before she can really help me?
Well, the first thing I do say up front that I'm a Christian wholeness coach. However, I'm not churchy. I'm not
Okay.
churchy. Well, I try not to be churchy on a regular basis, right?
Mhm.
But I'm not churchy when it comes to coaching. And
Okay.
I think one thing that helps in that aspect is I'm an open book. So as
Okay.
freely as I share some things with myself, even like in this interview, I let it be known. Hey, listen, I'm not here as somebody who has experience or background with these traumas. I am
Mhm.
coaching because I have been healed from a number of traumas.
Of
So
traumas. Oh.
not only can I empathize, but I can sympathize. And one of the reasons that I do my best at not being churchy, we said we were going to be real, right? Because I've been that young lady judged and talked about
Mhm.
and put down. And it's like, y'all supposed to be here to love me back to health, and y'all making me sick. You're making
Right.
my situation worse than what I came here. So I keep that in my memory. I keep that at the forefront of my mind, because I never want somebody else to feel what I felt, whether it was at church, whether it's in business, whether it's in the street. I always try to remind myself, don't become what you ran from, and don't hurt people the way you were hurt.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, sharing just your story, your testimony, about your life, just and being an open book and being real. So many times people, coaches or people with titles, they don't be real enough so that other people can identify with you, for other people can feel comfortable around you. So I want to thank you for just being an open book on tonight. um if someone wanted to
Say
reach
something
out
about
to you.
that real quick.
Huh?
I know we gotta go, but can I say something about that real quick?
Uh-huh.
It took me a while to get to that place of being real,
Okay.
because of stigmas and, oh no, you're a woman of God, you can't do this, and you can't be like this, you can't wear this, you can't share this, you can't. And it got to the point, it was like, I'm not trying to be everybody else. I'm trying to be Tamara. I'm trying to
Right.
walk in my character and my personality. And that's something else that even with coaching, that people have to get to a place to, because we will allow other people to heap their expectations of who we should be and how we should look and what we should do. that will walk around in the shell of a person because everybody expects me to be like that. But I'm a little older now, and I'm a little more mature in God now. And I say this with all love: I give all of me exactly how God made me. And if I am not your cup of tea, you are more than welcome to put the cup down. Like, you ain't
Right.
gotta take a sip from this cup, but I'm still
Right.
a good cup. I'm still good, where
Right.
God has me, but I'm comfortable. And my coach, the coach that I had, helped me to be comfortable being, they say, oh, you too energetic or dramatic, and I'm happy being that. If you come to me, know that I'm gonna take your life and your situations and everything 1,000% serious. But
Okay.
I'm not one of these overly deep. No, we're gonna joke, we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna live life.
Okay. So if someone was watching this and um they're on the fence about which direction should go, should I seek a wholeness coach, or should I just would or should I just go straight to a therapist first, or what advice would you give them? Would you in the guidance to becoming the better developed person that they need to be?
Again, that goes back to really honest self-reflection
Okay.
and being honest about the trauma and the pain that they experienced, um, and how deep rooted the pain is, right? Because life coaching, even with wholeness coaching, there is some level of healing or awareness that has already taken place.
Okay.
If it's something deeper than that, I would suggest, and here's my thing, even with coaching, when you get a client and you recognize, okay, um, there is a deeper level of pain that has to be rooted out. I
Mhm.
always tell people, I would love to continue to work with you, but I really think you need to see a therapy that is more capable of really digging
Okay.
out that root, because it's a deeper seed, right? And
Okay.
when I tell people, ask yourself, how deep is this seed? How much has of my life has this really impacted? How much of my life is really destroyed by this? And
Mhm.
if you recognize that all of my life I have been kind of stuck in this destructive pattern because of this, I'm going to direct you to the therapist,
Okay.
to a licensed therapist to help you. But if you've kind of already, understood that, and been on that healing process, but now you need somebody to help you walk through the rest of the process of getting your life on track, on knowing what your purpose is, on how to actually walk fully in that. Then I'm your girl.
Okay. Okay. All right. So can you real quick just give out your information, how someone can be in contact with you, how someone can reach you, even how someone can follow you? Do you have a social media platforms? You can go ahead and just throw that out there, so that if someone is seeking a life coach, or they know someone that's in need of a whole Christian wholeness life coach. I'm trying to throw it all in there together, all of that. Or if anybody looking for Coach Tami, okay, how can
Then
they find you?
you can go to our website, weariness to wholeness.com. I'm gonna say that again, is weariness to wholeness.com. You can email me directly at Tamara at Tamara LaSalle. It's my name, Tamara at TAMARALASALLE, TamaraLaSalle.com. You can find me on Facebook at LaSalle Motivation and Inspirations, and on Instagram it's Tamara underscore LaSalle. I've tried to make it as simple as possible by using my name so that it's much easier. So those are the ways that you can find me on social media.
Okay. Well, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the Rise with Miss Phoenix. Thank you
Thank
for
you for
feeling at
having
home, where you were just able to express. I hope that somebody, guys, you watching, will be inspired. Somebody was helped. Somebody was even encouraged to move past this crossroad in their life to seek better healing, deliverance breakthroughs, all of that good stuff to move past where you have been through the trauma of your life and to live a great life. We look forward to having you back on here again with us. It was always a pleasure. Do you want to say any last words before you leave?
Now, you know you can't do that because I will talk forever. No, just that if you are someone looking, and listen again, even if the area that you need help with is not my expertise, I'm blessed to know a number of coaches that I would refer you to, because again, it's not about you just working with me, but it's about you reaching your best potential. So I would say if you're someone that's stuck, you feel stagnated, you feel stalled, you feel like, hey, I know there's more for me out there. I have this passion, I have this urge, I just don't know how to do it. Reach out to me, connect with me, have that moment of self-reflection again, even if it's not with me, just to better your life. Because I promise you, regardless of what you have been through, there's always better out there for you, and you deserve better. I want to encourage somebody. You deserve better than what has happened to you, what you are currently going through, and what maybe even somebody made you believe about you. You deserve better. You deserve every ounce of greatness that God has for your life. So let's get to work and let's get it. That's what I would
You
say.
deserve it.
You deserve
We're
it.
going to leave on that note. You deserve better. You deserve it. So let's get to work. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to On the Rise with me, Miss Phoenix. We will be back here again. Have a great night. Have a great day. I love you. See you later. Before you go, can you please tell us what you have coming up next?
Absolutely. Thank you for giving me that moment to share. So some of the few excited that the actual second installment of Wisdom for the Weary, Volume 2, Pushing Past Pain and Into Purpose, will be released very soon. So I'm excited.